How would you define political correctness?
That's a big word.
Political correctness.
Um, Political correctness?
I feel like is the censor of the world.
I don't quite know what the word means.
I feel political correction is the way your tone and the way you come across in conversation.
I would define political correctness as trying your best to not hurt anyone's feelings.
I would define political correctness as being a way of using words to not offend a group of people or a person.
I'm gonna guess it's getting your politics correct, like knowing your information before trying to be in a political standpointing, probably in a debate.
I would define it, I guess, as like kind of like the sanitization of just like everything.
Well, he's the executive. He's not. What is it? The studio man of the world. The kind of guy just telling you, "Oh, you can't say this," or "You can't do that because it's not politically correct." Like, I mean, that's not saying like you shouldn't be.
The thing about political correctness is, I guess it depends on the situation, because in some cases, like comedy, I feel like political correctness is not that necessary. Like, if you want to make a joke, it's always going to offend someone. So I feel like in comedy, say what you have to say. Like, it's free speech. But when it comes to certain terms and vocabulary, like in maybe the medical field,
Because you can't like go around just saying like, I wouldn't want to be called ethnic a lot. That wouldn't be politically correct. Also be kind of hurtful, I think.
When it gets into being overly political correct and actually censoring people, I don't believe in that.
In what sense? In what cases?
It's, I believe part of PC culture has become this safe space. Basically saying that in your space on campus or wherever, you can't be challenged on your beliefs. And so it's a false argument in my opinion, so that like I'm walking down the street and I maybe have a certain opinion, but I choose that like in my area, my space is safe, and someone comes up and challenges it, rather than defending myself on what my beliefs are, I just kind of put up this false moniker and censor that person from even being able to speak and say anything to me.
I think that political correctness is sometimes needed in certain situations, and then other times I do think that people mistake just people being honest for political correctness, but I don't know, it's kind of gray. Nowadays it's really hard to determine what is politically correct and then what is actually offending someone.
I mean, generally, I think nowadays it's a little too much. I mean, it's hard to say like anything and not offend somebody. I mean,
Where I see it going more overboard is online and online communications like Facebook and Twitter. You'll read these threads of comments and somebody will just have an opinion on something.
like I'm wearing Redskins gear right now. I understand a lot of people could be offended by that kind of thing, but I definitely don't mean any offensive. Like, I don't mean anything offensive by it, but I can understand why you take it as that. But like, my problem with political correctness is people tend to go a little too overboard with it. Like, don't berate me. It's like, hey, I'm offended by that. I'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I'll apologize, and you move forward.
There was something about a magazine featuring overweight plus-sized models, and if somebody comments and says, she looks really unhealthy, it's like that person gets just hate messages about, oh my gosh, you're a horrible person, how can you say that? When in reality, maybe what they're saying is actually true. If you are overweight, it is a lot of stress on your body. But some people would say, well, if you call that model overweight, you have to call her plus size, or else you're not being politically correct. And things like that, to me, it's just a little bit overboard.
I kind of try to like be a little like jokey, for lack of a better term. That's a kind of a weird word for it, but I try to make jokes, try to be funny, and it's not gonna work every time, and you got to take some risks. And sometimes you say something that offends somebody, and I don't know. It really helps to know who your audience is. Like obviously I'm not gonna do it around someone I don't know, but once in a while, like you think you know what someone's gonna laugh at and what someone's okay with, and then you kind of cross the line. And it's like any hot button issue nowadays, somebody's gonna get way over the top offended about something you say. But my point I'm trying to make is that you can just say, hey, that offends me. I'll apologize. We move forward. Don't make a huge, gigantic deal of it. That's just not necessary.